Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Brittini Lee.
And welcome to the final day of the 8 Days of SAWlloween.
I want to play a game.
And of course what that means is we are going to be reviewing the newest and latest and not so greatest installment of the Saw franchise by the name Jigsaw. So we're going to jump into this like we have all the others. We'll give our overall thoughts. We'll talk about the story, the acting, the effects, all in good turn. And we'll spoil things probably at the end. And I'll put a little spoiler tape up. So we will let you know when we're going to spoil things, but I think it's to talk about it properly, we have to spoil it just like we did the others.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. In order to properly talk about something,
right.
You have to go through the traps and then the character development and all that.
So overall, though, I will say that outside of the gore, which wasn't as prevalent as I was hoping it would be, there were some cool gore bits, but ultimately, I thought this was a very lackluster installment because of a lot of the same reasons that I thought 4 and 5 were lackluster. But I'll get to the details in turn. But overall, the gore was fun, but the overall story was like, to me, it was just a big who cares. So yeah, Brittini.
To me, this whole movie was... this is how we can make more Jigsaw movies. Like that was the whole point of this installment. It was like they wanted to give you the twist of, oh, is he alive? Is he dead? Blah blah blah. All that crap that they constantly try to do with our bad guys when they're in these kinds of situations. And it's like, we know it's not him. We know he's not really there. We know he's dead. We know he's dead. So who is it? You know, and there was only 2 people that could have been the whole time. And you're just like, it's one of these 2 people.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. Waiting for it to happen. And then they try to do the whole bait. And I was just, it was. Overall, it was about the gore. And there wasn't a lot of gore. So it was lackluster in every serving.
Yeah, they tried to make an intriguing, twisty sort of story like they have in the past with the Saw movies, but the problem is you're dealing with a bunch of characters that we've only met for the first time this movie. I can't even say that because it's a spoiler, but for those of you that have been following the Saw franchise closely, don't expect to be too rewarded in this film. I'll say that much.
It can totally kind of go out. You could watch the first Saw and then watch this one.
I could see how this, we really could. I could see how this would be considered a reboot. Or even, I could see how this would start a new continuity, like replacing the old number 4 and going on from here.
That's kind of interesting.
Because it's a set, it's too spoilery. All right, so let's finish the non-spoilery talk and then we'll talk about it. All right, so it was all about the gore. The story was lackluster. Let's talk about the acting. I thought the acting was okay. I actually really liked Amara. She was Amara in Supernatural.
Oh, is that who our main
the
final
chick
girl was?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, not kind of.
She was.
Let's be careful.
No, yeah, I know. Well, yeah. Well, you can kind of, you can always kind of tell.
That's the weird thing.
Those bitchy girls always kind of get through.
Well, and the problem, unfortunately, I thought the trailer actually ruined the sequence of events for me. Because I was like, okay, if she and him are in this situation in the trailer,
they're gonna be fine
then
they're
gonna be fine in this situation. And obviously, if only one of them gets hurt in each of these situations, I know who that's gonna be.
Exactly.
So that kind of did ruin it a little bit. But at least they twisted on it a scotch, so they might say no, but really no, we didn't ruin it. And it's like, okay, semantics, but whatever.
Yeah.
But the overall acting, honestly, I didn't think it was any worse than some of the lamer installments earlier.
It wasn't any better or any worse than any of the other installments as far as the people who were getting killed.
Right.
You have, what do they really have? They're screaming. And that's it. They're constantly screaming. Do it! Do it! Do it!
Yeah.
And that's in every single every single installment.
Makes her angry, apparently.
Single installment. Well, it's just like, okay, I understand that you're in a situation where you're getting ready to die and you want somebody else to do something that they're like, I don't want to do this. But screaming at the top of your lungs, do it, is not going to make somebody do something.
No.
That's the moment where you need to
I know what you're talking about now.
back the fuck up, calm down, and go.
Which one?
Motherfucker.
Which one?
Motherfucker.
Which one?
Do it.
Which one?
Now.
Yeah. All right.
Go.
Yeah, but you understand in that circumstance why it would go that way.
You have to go back to the point of panic mode, and everybody would go into panic mode.
Right.
But after the 8th installment of watching people go into panic mode, you're kind of like,
you're tired of it.
I'm tired of watching.
I wanted to jump in and be like, okay, well, one of us let's put something in the doorway. Because, because the door slams shut every single time we move on to a new room. Please, someone just block the goddamn doorway.
Put a giant freaking 8x8
metal
beam.
There was massive farm equipment they could have used in this
all
one.
over the place.
Like anything would have propped open the damn doors.
There was that one moment where something did get propped, and it got propped with some really good item, and it still got messed up. Because somebody didn't do their job. No, in this movie. I'm trying not to spoil it by saying.
Okay, alright, yeah, you'll have to remind me because I don't remember.
Well, I'll bring it back up with spoilers.
But I was legit wondering, I'm like, okay, if these films do continue, there has to be a person that's like, the door's shutting, and they try and block it with their body, and they get cut in half by the door.
Oh, that would be cool.
That needs to happen at this point in the franchise. Anyway.
Somebody who's trying to escape the closing door.
Yeah, and they get cut in half, or, like segmented diagonally as they're trying to jump through,
That would be awesome.
It'd be really cool.
Stop it!
We're talking about something cooler than anything that would have that happened in this movie, but nonetheless. So again, the acting was just serviceable. There was no standouts except for one that is a spoiler if we bring it up, because when we talked about the first 7 movies, they'd all been out for at least 8 years. So we can't even say passing things that would be like, oh yeah, this happened again, or this happened again,
no, you can't,
because it would be spoilery. So we're gonna wrap up the non-spoiler section here in the immediate
Sorry, y'all, it's
future.
gonna be really, really short.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty short because we just can't legitimately talk about this without giving away things from the movie that might help you enjoy this movie more than we did if you don't know these things ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Let's just, I don't know, any other non-spoilery things we can discuss? Like, how about this? Was it satisfying? Did the end satisfy you at all?
No, it didn't.
No.
It didn't.
Yeah, me either.
I was like, they tried to make it, twist.
I was waiting.
No, what made me so mad is see, I'm going to try to spoil it again.
Okay, don't. I was waiting. Okay, that would spoil it too.
Okay,
Shit.
yeah.
All right, we're just going to stop it. We're going to stop it. We're going to move on to the spoiler section, you guys. Overall, the movie was lackluster and disappointing for us, if you want to know our non-spoilery opinions.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting into spoilers, okay? So, fair warning, spoiler. If you don't want to have Jigsaw, quote-unquote, ruined, don't watch anymore. Come back and watch it later. Just click it and add it to your watch later list, like I do with every video. Alright, so here we go. The thing I was just talking about, the thing that bummed me out was at the end of 7, we got the Dr. Gordon tie-in. Hoffman was still locked away in the room. At the end of this, I was waiting for something to tie into the previous movies. And literally nothing did. There was nothing that came back. No mention of Hoffman, no mention of Detective or Dr. Gordon, not even a mention of the Cult of Jigsaw followers. Like they briefly mentioned that like the girl that was obviously in on it from the very beginning. The 2 people that ended up running the games were so obviously the 2. Like as soon as I was like, oh, they're both doing it.
Right?
And even though they had moments of like, and here's the weird thing, they still had moments of like, wow, you're into this, when no one else was around.
Yeah,
why would they have those moments when no one else is around, when they both know they're in on it and helping each other? It was just straight lying to the audience. To try and build a twist that comes later when you're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense, because there were scenes where he was like, why are you so into this? And it's like, fucker, she's working for you. Like, that's why she's so into it. Like, oh God, it was just, they bent the rules too much and it didn't work. And the only thing that happened was Jigsaw did come back, right?
Jigsaw came back.
Right. They do this reveal like, oh, Jigsaw's still alive, and it's like, No, he's not. We know he's not.
We know he's dead.
We saw
watched
him,
his
autopsy. There's no way that could have been a fake body.
Die. We literally watched the guy take the saw to his throat and go, I'm sorry, I forgive you.
So that essentially just tipped the hand that, okay, this is fucking with time again.
Yeah, exactly.
This is another time fuck
another flashback.
Saw. Yeah. So, and they even tipped that way too early with the girl when they walk in and he sees that she has all these past traps from past movies, which is like nostalgia, except she's only got like 4 of them.
Yeah.
And she's got 4 of them, and then this
and
new
then
spinny spiral
contraption
one.
That we've never seen.
Never seen
this
before.
This is one of his original
she's like,
contraptions.
Supposedly
like the first
he used
one
this
ever
before
made.
anything we knew
but they
about.
Never found
but they
the
never
bodies.
found the bodies.
And
it's like, okay, so we're obviously watching something from 10 years ago.
This is our first, and you know what I have to say? His very first victims were much smarter than his later victims.
Yeah,
like, God, these people
that had never
heard
of Jigsaw before because they were his first victims. They kind of knew.
Out his they're like, oh my God, wait,
he wants a test of blood.
Wait, listen.
Cut
this
yourself.
Is a game.
Cut yourself.
This is a game.
Yeah.
Oh, all you have to do is give a sacrifice of blood. Just cut yourself a little bit. It's all good. And I'm sorry, if I was gonna literally, I just have to give a sacrifice of blood. Any amount of blood will do.
Wait, let's hang on.
I'm sorry.
Let's just give it some context. Let's give it some context, okay?
Okay, yeah.
We're talking about the scene where they all wake up with the buckets on their head, and there's the wall of saws and 5 chains. And so the first thing he says is, all you need to do is give a sacrifice of blood, no matter how little.
No matter how little. Okay.
So you literally could have just bit your finger.
Literally, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, I chew off the dead skin on my fingers all the time and chew off too much. I'm like,
yeah.
Or I would have been like,
but no, they walk up to the blades and try and one guy tries to do a finger. I was like, okay, that's what I would do. And then his chain gets yanked and he's like, I was like, oh shit.
Dumbass.
So I will say this about the movie, which I probably should have said in the non-spoiler section. The gore parts, the tense parts were tense.
You know, I have
it doesn't matter that I didn't know the people.
True.
That stuff, I was like, ooh.
They were very good at building tension in this movie. Just like they were good at building tension in the 3D
But it was violence tension, not character tension.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing in the 3D one with the insurance guy. In those situations, I didn't give a crap whether those guys...
Actually,
was it 6?
Yeah, I think 6 was the insurance. No, maybe 7 was the insurance guy. With
the insurance guy, okay? When he is going through and he's trying to save all these people and you're just like, I don't care if you live or die. But these tense moments, you're just like, oh my, you don't care about the outcome, but just the building of the moment is like, you're just like in it.
Yeah.
And I like the way they do that. I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
They have a good
way
of
I mean,
tension.
it doesn't matter who you're watching in these perilous situations. You're putting yourself in that person's shoes. So when things are happening, you're like, and that part with the saws, like one girl gets yanked and gets her back hit by the saws, and then another one pulls her off, and I thought she was gonna get pushed into it.
It was kind of
I was like, oh God, no! And so there was a lot of me.
I
have to say, I was reacting a lot to that sort of stuff, and I thought the spiral kill was pretty cool when it spit him out.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Okay,
sorry.
No. When I was saying that something got used to block something, okay, when she had that piece of rebar, I'm like, that's smart. You got a piece of rebar, that's good. And she blocked it, and I'm like, okay, dude, pull the brake.
Yeah, grab the brake.
Yeah. She fucking saved your ass.
The trap
finish
is
your
that
job.
spiral trap you see briefly in the trailer, and someone a dude is suspended upside down by a leg, and there's it's run by a motorcycle, which you can see in the trailer. There's a brake at the bottom of the spiral, and she stops. She shoves the piece of rebar in again in the trailer, and it stops the mechanism, and he has a good 15 seconds to grab the thing.
And he's just like, thank you so much for saving me. Thank you.
Yeah, he just takes time thanking. Thank you. And she's like, reach for the fucking brake.
No, she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything.
No, she did. I thought she did.
No, I said it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were her.
I said it.
But he does it, and then the thing starts back up, and he immediately gets and spiraled, and then spit out like Play-Doh.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I liked that. And then him dropping and falling like a slinky.
Well, but that wasn't him though. Remember, that was the other guy. Yeah,
but that was cool.
I was like, that's another thing. I thought I found a hole. I was like, wait, the bodies are way too fresh.
Yeah, because he went and got bodies, and they explained that.
Right?
I
know.
They did that.
I was like, okay, at least they explained that because that was a huge plot hole.
That were pertaining to your cases.
Detective, not Hoffman, but H something or other. Like, that's the weird thing. They made the detective Heffron or some shit like that. It was so close to Hoffman. It was frustrating. Why would you make the guy's detective's name an H name when Detective Hoffman was the one that was Detective Dickhead Pouty Lips in the past movies?
Yeah, and
like, why would you do that? It's just
totally
confusing to the audience unnecessarily.
We never get to see Detective Dickhead Pouty Lips.
We never see anything. We don't see the cult of pighead people run by Dr. Gordon either.
Did like that.
Like, why not?
I did like that he was the guy who was helping Jigsaw make his contraptions.
No, the very first one. Like, again, this is just a new Jigsaw protege. This was his first protege. Even though we found out that Detective
this is literally,
whatever was his first protege.
Yeah, this is now resorting back to this is his very first protege because he helped him make the jaw device and all the other kind of stuff that everyone else came along. This just breaks down to both a prequel to the entire series and a sequel to the entire series. It is a re-bequel. It's a pre-re-bequel. Yeah, it really is. I didn't know that those would exist, but here we are, a pre-re-bequel. Holy shit. That's too much. All right, guys. Well, anything else worth spoiling? I mean, the Amara. I actually liked how she got taken out. I thought that was so awesome.
That was cool because Jigsaw puts the two survivors across the room, and he puts a shell in a sawn-off shotgun, and he's like, you got to think about this in reverse. Yep. And he's like, there's one shell here, and two of you, think about it. And then Amara is like, fuck you, I'm surviving. I have two legs still. I have the advantage. And she goes up, and then the other dude puts it together. He's like, wait, he's like, go in reverse, and then just as because she's gonna kill him.
No, it's in reverse. Don't
he's
stop.
Like, no,
you're
it's
gonna
in
kill
reverse.
yourself.
And then
Wait.
she fucking pulls the trigger, and it backfires and blows half her face off. And he's just sitting there
looking at her like, why did you kill yourself?
But then he just sits there and dies.
No, I know, but he's sitting there going, oh my god, you just killed yourself. This is so terrible. But then he started looking at the bullet, and he realizes that, oh my gosh, the bullet was the key. Mm-hmm. It held the keys to our locks.
Yeah,
both
to
keys.
their locks.
Yeah. There's a yellow key and
so
a green
all they
key.
needed to do was pop the shell out and open it up.
And they both would have got out.
And Jigsaw even holds up the shell and says, this is the key to your exit. Oh my god. That I actually liked. I liked the writing of that little bit. But that's the problem. That's it. And then why?
What I liked about Jigsaw was the little twist.
But why would Jigsaw have left that guy to rot? It seems like he didn't do anything wrong. He paid the price for his leg, but he still got left to rot because he didn't actually die.
Because that was his game. That moment right there was
either they both get out or neither of them get out.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
it was, and that's what I started hating about as the installment.
But again, no one survives.
It wasn't all you have to do is, save yourself. You have to make a sacrifice to save your life. Mm-hmm. It became this, your life is dependent on this person making this decision. And that just got okay, if you guys are going to do that, it can't be Jigsaw.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because Jigsaw was he cut the piece out of them because they were missing the piece of them that made them fight to live.
At its core, I think the big problem with the Saw series is they killed Jigsaw way too fucking early because then they're like, the only way to do these is with Jigsaw, so we have to figure out a way to involve him in every single movie.
We have to make a new
Jigsaw. You gotta admit, though. That's the thing this is record breaking. This is record breaking. Jigsaw technically died in 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And now there's up to 8. So there have been 5 movies still surrounding a character that died 5 movies ago. That. If that doesn't speak to Tobin Bell's necessity for this series, and if you're going to do it, just reboot it with a new person, because this is not working without Tobin Bell, and now it's not working with Tobin Bell because you're crowbarring him in every entry.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Anyway, I guess that's enough. To touch on the music, they did use the Zepp Overture, but they remixed it a couple times. They changed it, so it wasn't as effective again. But at least they used it this time, like they didn't in the fucking reveal of 7, if I recall.
No, they did not use it, because that was a major complaint for you.
It was. I did not like that they didn't use the Zepp Overture. No, that's a Saw staple. But then when they open the credits and the pre-roll with the Zepp Overture Redux, and I was like, oh no.
As far as
no.
effects go, I really liked the effect they did on her eye.
Yeah.
When she accidentally shot herself.
Yeah.
That,
I thought the idea of the
was
acid
awesome.
syringe was cool.
The acid syringe was cool. Oh, that was so messed up. And I'm like, dude, she said it. She freaking said it right in front of you. You didn't have to inject all three.
I would have just gone at least one at a time.
I
You're
know,
like, okay,
right?
look, I can stab you with all three, or we can take chances one at a time. What do you want to do?
Well, the second she said $3.53, what do I think a life is worth? I was like, $3.53.
Okay, use that.
Boom.
Yeah.
That would have been my first one.
But I don't know.
And
Does that equal death sentence or no?
I don't care.
No.
That's the one I would have used. $3.53.
Yeah, and then they never even explained what the numbers
No.
on the other two were.
On the one they did.
What?
They said the one was the combination on the safe.
No, that was
door.
that was the number inside after the syringe had been empty.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe the numbers were just. I don't know. Maybe
I
they
don't
were
know.
just
If there was
the other
significance,
numbers.
it should have been explained. Like
obviously
it was
didn't
too rushed.
explain.
That part was too rushed.
There was a lot of.
It was only like an hour and 35-minute long movie. So
There was a lot of the puzzle part that was rushed.
Yeah.
That never had been rushed before.
No,
It
I didn't
was
feel like it had been either.
always fully explained way more than it needed to be. Like with the insurance guy, you got the 6 people on the thing and you can only save 2, and you're just sitting there explaining it for forever, and we're like, okay, we get it. 2 people are gonna live.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be 2 women because.
But I didn't mind that. That was tension building. This
No,
just
it
felt
was, but-
quick for quick's sake.
And it did, and
It
it
felt
was,
like, okay, we need to get to the end and introduce the new Jigsaw. And it's like, no one cares about this new
yeah,
Jigsaw. You spent
nobody
7
wants-
movies setting up a different group of Jigsaws, and now they're completely out the fucking door.
And that's
why?
the thing, is why did you guys give us this setup for these 2 unknown Jigsaw extras?
Followers or whatever.
Yeah.
No,
along with-
one protege, one follower.
No, one. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm saying that we have the doctor and then the 2 followers that we don't know who they are.
Oh, from the last one.
From the last one.
Right.
Why was that not built? That was
Exactly.
the perfect opportunity. You guys
Tie that shit in at
already
the
had a
end.
story pre-built. Not to mention, why the fuck do we never get to see Detective Pouty Lips Dickhead get his comeuppance? Fuck you!
I'm pretty sure she meant that towards the filmmakers, not you audience
Yes,
members.
filmmakers, fuck you.
All right, guys. Well, I think that is as good a place to end it as any before we go off on this even more. So, thank you very much for watching. Watch Jigsaw at your own risk. If you want to see the gore, then definitely watch it. I don't think story-wise it's going to satisfy you at all, but...
Wait for it to come out on Netflix.
And that's the thing, like about 20 minutes in, I was like, uh-oh, I kind of like this. This is going to make for a bad review unless it goes way off the rails. And then I was like, by the end, I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is not... It didn't go way off the rails, but it was so subparly on the rails that it made no difference.
If they could have called this Jigsaw the prequel...
Saw 0.
I would have been like...
Saw 0.5.
I would be like, oh, so I'm just gonna get to see a bunch of assholes die.
Reveal that.
And
But
I'm
again,
be so happy.
it did do a prequel and sequel. Like it
No,
was
it was a
pre-Saw 1 and 10 years
was-
after Saw 7.
It was a prequel, sequel, Pre-Bequel.
Technically, it took place 15 years. Even though it was, they said only 10, it technically took place about 15 years apart. But whatever. All right, that's it. We're calling it. Thanks for. That movie deserves that. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this or if you plan to see it. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Brittany Lee.
And
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, thank you. God, she's
Ring
more
that
pro
bell.
than I am. Yeah, ring that the notification bell. All that shit. Thanks very much. I don't know. Hopefully this is going to be up before our live News with Booze and Horror Hangout and haunted house stuff, but it might not be up until the end of tonight. Thank you guys very much for joining us for the 8 Days of SAWlloween. Stay tuned for next year when I guarantee we're going to be doing like the 12 Days of Halloween because Halloween's doing a new movie. So,
Oh.
yep. But it's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it, so it might be good. Anyway, thanks again, guys. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Brittany Lee.
And remember, stay scared.